Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we doing, good peeps? I hope you're well. I'm taking a break from the series on the various help for parents that is available out there. I'm very pleased to have a chat with some folk the other night. It was cracking. So before we begin, become a warrior teacher or buy me a coffee if you can. That would be really helpful. Or a super thanks here on YouTube. Or subscribe to my Substack, which you can do as a free subscriber, or at the moment you can get it on offer at $2.50 a month or £30 a year. So that's my sales pitch bit done. Let's go, because today I want to talk about a conference, which was the Royal College of GPs, the RCGP annual conference. Now, as you know, I recently did videos on the ridiculousness of RP Psych, the Royal Psychiatric Loons, right? Who have ditched Stonewall and told Stonewall to give it its marching orders, but at the same time gone, we're looking for a suitable alternative to continue our intersectionality, race and gender grift. Right? So they still don't get it. That's half the trouble. Well, it's just Stonewall. The rest of it's fine. Get a life. Right? So we've got the meeting of the Royal College of GPs, an annual conference, right? GPs, right? General practitioners. These are some of the most hardworking people in terms of being on the front line. And it's fascinating, isn't it, that they're also being lambasted by nutters. Okay, so let's take a look and see. Well, it starts with this headline here, which takes some believing. GPs should wear pronoun badges to support children who think they are trans. The idea is one of several proposed to a doctors' conference by a charity which campaigns for trans awareness. Well, first off, why are they at a GP's conference? Secondly, is there anybody aware of trans? Whatever it means, because I still don't know. Do you know? Come on, give me an answer. It's an umbrella term, as I said before. Remember that, like vegetables. Do you mean the sprouts or do you mean the parsnips? That's the question. Now, so Michael Searles, health correspondent at The Telegraph, on the 3rd of October. GPs should wear pronoun badges to support children who are questioning their gender. A conference of family doctors has been told. Now, they should also consider changing children's gender on their NHS records and displaying LGBT pride flags in practices, campaigners told a session at the Royal College of GPs, RCGP, annual conference. How about no? Just no. No, right? They shouldn't be doing any of that. Least of all, changing their NHS records. It's so dangerous. These people are still being given a seat at the table. Why? Surgeries could also put up posters signposting teenage patients to transgender services, it was suggested. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The only lens to see this through is a safeguarding lens, and doctors are just as responsible for safeguarding as the next person, right? So we now know it's iatrogenic. The whole thing's harmful, including the social transitioning. Capitulating to their demands, even using their new name, is harmful. It's iatrogenic. It is causing them harm. And this is GPs that are being given this bullshit. So the proposal was made during a session focused on the way GPs can approach consultations with young... I've lost it. Yes, consultations with young people questioning their gender. Yeah, right, okay. First thing you do is you lay out very clearly that there's no such thing, that what they're feeling is something else, and they're just confused about it. These are kids, for God's sake. Treat them as such. Jason Woods-Ives, a trans healthcare coordinator. What does that mean? Does he go around dropping off binders? Does he? And fake dildos and things. And all all the stuff they use, woolen penises. I don't know. Or tucking manuals. Perhaps he does it like an American kid. When they're delivering the papers. There's your binder. There's all these parents coming out and trying to avoid the sprinkler on the lawn. We got it? What is it? It's a fake cock. All right. Okay. We've come up with a few ideas. No, you haven't. Come up with anything. They've been spouting this bull crap for years. It's like they're living in some weird netherworld that's like 5 years behind everybody else. We stopped doing this, Jason Wood-Ives. We know how dangerous it is now, so you need to stop too. We've come up with a few ideas of things that would make trans people and trans adolescents more comfortable. No such thing within the GP surgeries, such as confidentiality statements. What do you mean a confidentiality statement? Anything between a GP and their patient is confidential. They're just weird, aren't they? Posters. Just putting the progress flag up somewhere. How about we get some progress flag toilet roll, and we can get everybody that visits the GP surgery to wipe their bum with it. That'll do, eh? Put up a progress flag somewhere so that they know it's a safe space. Get bent. Use of pronouns, but this is more for staff. Put them on your name badges. We're not doing any of that, right? Use of pronouns, using the person's name that they've said that they are because they think they're now Julia instead of John. Pandering to their pronoun nonsense, pandering to this absolute idiotic belief system of gender identity is harmful. You might think you're being kind. Oh, I'm just being kind. You're not. You're harming people, and you need to stop doing it. Stop using their language. That's the way I see it. This is doctors. Now, I imagine most doctors get it. I've spoken to many doctors about this, and they go, every time one of these people comes in there, they come in and they're a disaster zone. They're as mad as a box of frogs, most of them. Right, because they've hurt themselves with either estrogen or they've hurt themselves with puberty blockers. It's such a terrible thing. And we need to make sure that none of this is pushed anymore. It needs to be eradicated from surgeries. And it's just, you have a mental health issue. We don't know what it is. If they've come to you with something like gender, then you just go, we need to explore what it is that's going on with you. Yeah, but I need the drugs. You're not getting them. Because remember, they train them how to get the drugs out of the GPs. They do that online. They teach them what to say. Here's what you say to your GP so you can get your hands on the, titty skittles. No, not happening. Use of pronouns, no. New patient registration forms, make your website friendly looking. Again, put the progress flag on there. Just off. We're not doing it. Who's this? Jason Wood-Ives. So what do we know about Mr. Wood-Ives? I'll find a picture and put it up, all right? Jason Wood-Ives. Think about your campaign. Cervical screening, breast screening, prostate exams. These are all really, really important things that trans people need to know about as well and actively avoid. What? Think about your campaign, cervical screening, breast screenings, prostate exams. These are all really, really important things that trans people need to know about as well and actively avoid. You want them to avoid cervical screening? He's misspoken me. He's misspoke. He's mumbling through his beard. Anti-science agenda. Now, patients should also ask administrative staff to change their gender on their records. No, Mr. Wood-Ives, we're not doing it. You don't need to have a GRC or anything to change your gender identity within the NHS. It's as simple as asking the admin, he added. Yep, and we need to stop that. That needs to end immediately, right? So people say, yeah, but we'll report and record gender identity as well as sexuality and sex. No. Well, I wonder what it costs to put a box to get somebody in, a tech bod, knowing how the NHS spends money, to alter forms to do all this across the NHS. Just imagine how much it costs. We're not doing it. We're not pandering to you anymore, and we're not pampering you either. Then we get the marvellous Fiona McKenna. McKenna. Fiona McKenna. God, I'm sorry, Fiona. Do you know I didn't realise what your last name was? Fiona McKenna. Right, Fiona McKenna, Director of Campaigns at Sex Matters, along there with the very floral Helen Joyce and Maya Forstater. They're a human rights charity that campaigns for clarity on sex in law, policy and language. They said the last thing vulnerable children and their parents need when seeking evidence-based treatment is to have badges, posters and flags that represent a harmful anti-science agenda pushed in their faces. Have that, Wood-Ives! Have that, you nutter. The link between trans activist lobbying and the quack medicine of gender affirmation is known. So what will it take for medical bodies to return to their principles of first do no harm? Distressed children do need better care. This means following the recommendations of the CATS review and not affirming the false premise that they may be born in the wrong body. Now, treating patients with gender dysphoria and trans health issues is not part of the GP curriculum or GP speciality training, and many medics are not experienced, according to Dr. Stephanie Lamb, GP partner and clinical director at the Well Centre. So what they say, it's true. I mean, with doctors I've spoken to, I don't know what to do with these people. They really don't get it. I mean, but you should treat it as you would any other delusion. If I came into the hospital and I said, morning, doc, how are you doing? How you doing, Barry? I said, it's not Barry. What is it now? Tom. Oh, is it? Right, yeah, I'm Tom Baker. Why? Well, I'm Dr. Who. I've become Dr. Who. I'm going to go and fight the Daleks. You'd be like, okay, I want you to sit there quietly, Barry. Sorry, I mean Tom. I'm just going to go and talk to the receptionist. Okay, that's great. Yeah, my friend's in later. He thinks he's Alexander the Great. You do exactly what you should do, which is you'd send them for a mental health evaluation and you find out why they're so deluded. We should be doing the same with this. There is a rise in young people who are gender questioning, who are within our caseloads and our patients, she told delegates. This is Stephanie Lamb talking about this. And many of us are not experienced in treating and managing people with gender dysphoria and gender questioning. Well, gender dysphoria doesn't exist, Stephanie. You're a doctor. You need to do the work on this to find out why it doesn't exist. If at best, it's bodily identity integrity disorder. We like those people that want to cut off their arms or have their eyes poked out because they think it's the way they should be. It's just mental illness, Steph. And you need to really separate, You need to really not separate this out from other delusional behaviours. It can be a really difficult consultation, that initial consultation. No, it's not. You're a doctor. Be honest with your patients. Don't fanny about. Years ago, doctors didn't fanny about. You go to your doctor and say, right, I've got this, I've got that. You go, right. Okay, you need, listen, fatty, stop eating so bloody much, right? Okay, and stop smoking. And for God's sake, take these tablets. And you go, yeah, but I think I've got, no, you haven't, you've got this. Now get out of my office. I've got another patient to see. I want to go back to those days, where big matrons came in and washed your bum whether you liked it or not. Authority. We need more authority, and that's what doctors should be acting with. Professor Camila Hawthorne, a chair of the RCGP, said, the care of transgender and gender questioning people is a complex area of medicine. It's not complex, right? They are deluded. It is quackery. I don't understand why these doctors are still not getting it. And the RCGP has members with widely divergent views on the issue. It doesn't matter what their views are, right? Have they got widely divergent views on the practices of the Skopsy in 18th century Russia? Have they? Have they got widely diverging views on the practice of the thuggee during the British Empire? Have they? And what they used to get up to with cutting people's bits off and hitting them over the head with stones in the end of scarves? Have they? No, right? You're pandering to a cult. Stop doing it. GPs will always aim to do the best for their patients. If they aim to do the best for their patients, there wouldn't be so many damaged people who've been through so-called gender-affirming care, would there, Pamela? No, Camila. Camila Hawthorne, professor, chair of the RCGP. And then at the bottom it's got, and here's the killer line, it is down to individual practices to implement their own policies on how to ensure equality, inclusivity and diversity. You utter coward. Right, we've had the Royal College of Psychiatry this month going full out and going, we've got rid of Stonewall, but we'd like to thank them for the work that they've done in bringing my organisation to its knees. I tell you, Camilla, you need to get your head around this. It is down to individual practices to implement their own policies on how to ensure equality, inclusivity and diversity. Oh, get in the bin, you bunch of bloody cowards. Take a stand, make a stand, say no. Gender identity is nonsense. Gender affirming care is harm. It is a belief system practiced by people in a cult. And we at the RCGP do not do unreality, anti-science and pseudoscience. That's what you need to say, Camila. For God's sake, grow a pair, woman. That'll upset the feminists. So here we go. Another Royal College that's utterly mental. Edijester out. You go and have a great time. I've got things going on. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.